All right, welcome back. My name is Rudy Knapp, and this is Legacy Building a Kingdom. I'm back for a thought of my day. Before I do that, I have to laugh at myself a little bit. This is the second time I'm recording this because the first time I decided to forget to turn the microphone on, which was pretty humbling itself, to laugh at myself and say, hey, you got to turn the microphone on in order for people to hear. So I did that, and I'm owning it, and I'm laughing at myself because it leads into this podcast a little bit. I want to talk about being humble today. And before I get to that, I really enjoy the idea that these podcasts lead into each other one after another. Last week we talked about honoring mothers and how mothers are amazing people and how they have molded us women and men into the people we are. And I'm sure we've had many humbling experiences through our mothers as we grew up, sometimes not listening and learning our lesson. But getting back to this concept, being humble, I believe that a big part of growth is to be humble, to look at yourself and to be confident in yourself and to, celebrate yourself, but also understand humility. And if you can, you can see growth and you can see how you are as a person in your character. Humility is not a one-time lesson that comes from when you lost everything. It is a daily reminder of how far we have come, yet still short of what we can be through His guidance. And talking about His guidance, God Himself to guide us into the way in which we should live our lives. And, we become humble when we understand that we are not greater than everyone else. And it's really difficult because we do strive for success and we want to put ourselves on top at times. And we see that money is guiding a lot of people into what they believe is success. Instead of looking at this concept of, yes, push to be better. Yes, build your kingdom. One of the things I just posted on social media was me getting out of my own skin again and posting myself in what I believe and understanding this concept. Build yourself up first and then build your kingdom around you. As you build yourself up, your kingdom will grow. Your kingdom will become greater. And so if you've been following this podcast and if you have been part of this, you would understand that since day one, everything leads back to that concept. Build your kingdom. Build yourself up. Fix your life as far as pushing to better your life every single day. And I say fix your life. I'm not saying you're broken, and I'm not saying that anyone is broken. I'm saying that you cannot be content with where you are. And if you sit back and you are content with where you are and you think you're successful, you're going to fall and it's going to hurt. Because you should always be striving for more. You should always be growing. Does that mean that you have to change your career? Absolutely not. Does that mean that you have to do something completely different? No. But on a daily basis, you should be doing and focusing on something that's going to better your life and better those around you. So when we say be humble, celebrate that you've had this process. I've also posted this on social media, like smile once in a while at your progress, at your process that you're going through, right? Be comfortable with liking the process. Understanding the process is what's going to get you further and further towards what your goals are, your growth as a person. Now, social media, I'm referring to my mental capacity first and foremost and where I'm at, putting myself out there a little bit, just like this podcast, but also physically. I work every day. I put in the work. And, no one can say they put in the work like I put in the work is what I believe. Does that mean that it's true? No. But in my brain, I can believe that I put in the work more than anyone. In my brain, I can believe that I keep working and looking for that success. Someone said to me that you're obsessed with the gym, you're obsessed with going and working out. I absolutely hate it. Hate the gym, hate working out, hate everything about it. I love the way I feel afterwards. I love it. I love progress. I love results. So if you want to say I'm obsessed with it. No, I'm obsessed with results. I'm obsessed with seeing change. I'm obsessed with understanding this is a process and that I am achieving goals. It is not easy and it is not overnight. And if you think it is overnight, you must be crazy. What you have to understand in life is we go through this thing in every part of our life and we want results right away. We want something handed to us. We want an extrinsic value handed to us. I went to the gym, so I better have muscles now. I went to the gym, I better lose weight now. I ate right one day and had a salad. Guess what? I should be skinnier. No, 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 no. That's not how it works. It's just like saying, I believe in God, and you actually don't put in the work to believe in God. You know, we believe in God every day. We believe in God, and we trust in God. And we have a hard time with it. As people, we do. We have a hard time having faith. The whole concept of faith is to actually believe without actually seeing it. We experience things. We feel things. Someone recently told me about your Holy Spirit is when you have that feeling inside you, and it tells you what to do. That feeling inside you, it's guiding you. It's interesting to hear the conversations that you have with people and what they believe, and it's very humbling for myself because there are some really amazing people out there, and they have crossed my path for a reason. There's people that I have talked to that have been an amazing support system for me. So first and foremost, if you want to humble yourself, if you want to grow, you have to put an amazing support system around you. You have to have people around you that are going to stand here and build you up and guide you to understand that, hey, it's okay that it's not perfect. It's okay. You're doing great. It's the most important thing for your success. Have and surround yourself with people that are good people in this world that generally care to see you better. There are way too many haters in this world. There are way too many haters probably listening to this right now. They're saying things that, they're coming up with this narrative in their head, like I talked about on this podcast. We have this narrative, this negative. We have these people, I believe in being confident in yourself. I believe in putting in work. I believe in growth mindset. I believe in you should be happy with your success. And it doesn't matter if you don't have what you are striving to get to yet. You keep pushing for it. I'm the hardest person on myself. I will tell you that. Most people will tell you that. I can see results. I can see the things I am successful at and what I'm doing, but it's that little text message from a friend. It's that little push from someone that that says this looks great, or you look great, or I love your podcast, or you're doing great things, or it'll be okay. Those things are what make you, and those are the things that will humble you too. To understand, like, hey, I don't feel that great about myself. I'm struggling right now, and have someone boost you up. It puts you right back in your confident state, and you need that. But also, once you're in that confident state, understand you weren't in that state always. So humble yourself. Understand everything isn't going to be perfect. I'm a 45-year-old man who I believe is very successful. I believe I'm successful in life in general. Does that mean that I have money? Nope, I don't. I'm a teacher. Of course we don't have money. I have a bachelor's degree. I have a master's degree. I have, a family that loves me. I have people around me that are a support system that I can call friends that are generally care about me. I have things. And I have my bad days. I have my days where this stuff doesn't work and I'm struggling a little bit, but I'm humbled to say that, like this week was a rough one. This is a rough week. We all have rough weeks. And because we have rough weeks, guess what? We're all going to go through it, and we have to find a way to dig out of it and build that confidence back up. So, I'm humbled this week knowing that I'm going through some changes and, where I'm at in my life. I never thought I would be here at this point, but I'm growing and I'm getting better, and I'm a better human being today than I was even a couple years ago. And so I had to go through some hard things. I had to be a bad person at times. There was a lot of things that I haven't done well, and there's a lot of things I have done well. So I'm humbled to say, like, hey, I'm selling my house this week, and I have this, this change in my life. And, in 2 weeks I could be homeless. I have no idea where I'm going at this point, but I know my kids will be okay, and I know that their mother will always take care of them, and I know I'm still here. And it's a short period of time. I understand that. but I'm still working on it. I'm going to figure out where I'm supposed to be. And, it'll work. I'll find myself somewhere. And so I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the idea that I'm going to keep pushing to be where I want to be eventually in the long term, have a big picture, right? How do we stay humble, right? How do we become humble? Because it's real easy to be successful and have all the money in the world and think that we're where we're supposed to be at and we're content. And again, as I already mentioned, if you are content and you're not trying to work on your life and you're not trying to help your spiritual part of your life and your physical being and your mental being and your relationships and who you are as a person and being humble and being able to take accountability and admit that you're wrong and take accountability for what you put yourself in, like what position you put yourself in. If you're not able to do that, you're not growing and you're content and you're going to fall. So what can we do? We can stay teachable. We can keep learning. That's the most important part. Stay teachable. Learn from every person around you. Every person offers knowledge or a lesson. Every person you come across, every path that you come across, they are going to provide knowledge for you in some capacity. You can find the positive. I've been in many different relationships where I have found some positive out of some bad situations, some negative people, some people that should not have been in my life. And guess what? I found a positive. I found a way in which I can use what was the situation to help myself grow. And, everybody can go through that. Everybody can do the same. Biblically, it'll say, be humble and never think that you are greater than others. For dust you are, and until dust you shall return. God created us right out of the dirt, and guess what? He will put us back someday. So guess what? We are no greater than that dust that we were created from, right? We're going to be right back to it. So let's understand, if we think we're better than other people, if we think that as we go through life, we are somebody that is greater than them because you have more things, because you have money, because you're successful, as you might put a definition on. My definition of success is far different than most people. Did I make an impact on people? Did I help people? Did people's lives change? And honestly, the most important two are my kids, Ben and Sophie. So, if their lives are changed because of me in a positive way, then I'm successful. And my only honestly, I'm choked up to say it. My only job in life is to make sure they're better people than I ever was. And they already are. So I'm successful. So when I say success, I'm not content. I want to keep being successful. I want to keep helping people. I want to keep moving forward. I want to be somebody that knows that I feel good intrinsically for what I've done to help those around me. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I've done some things in my life that I regret, and guess what? We all do. But I will push forward. I will be better each and every day. It doesn't matter what age you are. You can always better yourself. Build that kingdom up. Start with yourself. A great man is hard on himself, and a small man hard on others. Think about that for a second. You could be a great person. And if you're hard on yourself, that means you're always pushing to be better. I'm the hardest person on myself, and everybody will tell you that. But if you're hard on others, simply to be harder on others, for your own benefit, that means that you're not very humble. You don't have humility. You're putting others down because you're putting yourself above them. Again, remember what God says. He brought you into this world. He'll take you out the same way. So you are no better than anyone else. Here's a profound statement. It wraps this all up here. And I want to make sure everybody understands this part. To cultivate humility, actively practice gratitude, acknowledge your limitations, and be open to learning and feedback. Embrace empathy. Seek help when needed, and recognize that everyone is on their own unique journey. Admitting mistakes and celebrating the accomplishments of others are also key to developing humility. You got to have humility. You got to be able to help others. You got to be able to look back at yourself and say, hey, I'm confident in who I am and what I've done, but I also know that I'm humble enough that it can all be taken away. And so this concept of being humble is a way in which people will judge your character. They don't want to see some cocky person over here bragging about what they have and what they haven't. They want to know there's a genuine good person inside you. It doesn't matter how many dollars you have in your pocket, how many friends you have on Facebook, how many likes you have. They don't care. No one cares. They don't care that you look like you have a perfect life in social media. What they care about is, are you a good person and do you treat them well? Ultimately, do you treat other people well? And when you think you're better than other people, when you act like you're better than other people, when you think you're more successful, when you think that you have all these things and you show it, you're somebody people don't want to be around. You're somebody that loses in the long run because you're going to feel empty inside. So appreciate what you have. Be humble enough to appreciate that you have the things you have and you have the people around you that you have. That kingdom, God, it's so important. I say this one more time. Building yourself up with people around you that are great people, that are amazing people, that are people that will always cheer you on and push you forward. That's so key to your success. Man I used to work with, I've mentioned it before, he has a saying that he says to the children, and we're kind of in a rough area, and he talks to these children that have a lot of behavior problems, and he says, if you hang out with doctors, you're a doctor. And if you hang out with crackheads, you're a crackhead. I use it all the time. I've probably talked about it on a podcast before, and I think it's really, really profound that he says this to them. Understanding who you surround yourself with is most important to how you're perceived, number one, number two, and how you can become successful. You hear all the sayings about, if there's 5 successful people you hang out with, you're the 6th successful person. If there's 5 people that are, in trouble or get in trouble, or 5 people that, are a problem, you become the 6th problem. Who you surround yourself with. It's so important. And I have such an amazing support system around me that I can't say enough how thankful I am. Selling my house this week, my cousin Catherine, I can't thank her enough for the work she's put in, her being my realtor. And again, plug for her, Catherine Gonzalez. If you guys need someone, she's amazing, goes through extra mile. I mean, just last night stopping at my house to take care of some things, like just absolutely appreciative of her. So reach out to her, find her. I'll tell you right now, every person around me that has supported me, especially through tough times, especially through daily life, especially through successes and failures, to push me forward. Some people that I talk to on a daily basis, and you know who you are. There's many people, friends, family that literally will push me forward every single day, give me hope, and realize that, hey, I need to stay humble as well. I have success, but stay humble. But also celebrate yourself. Go through, celebrate yourself, push yourself forward. So I'll leave you with this. St. Augustine said this. It was pride that changed angels into devils. It is humility that makes men as angels. Think about it. Signing off. Next time.